So the tweet that I want to go ahead and call back is John McAfee tweeted a couple of months ago, "Do not panic about the drop in Bitcoin's price." And he said it is an overreaction to the news, and news does drive Bitcoin price to a certain extent, that Bitstamp, Coinbase, etc. are being investigated for price manipulation. Obviously that isn't as relevant anymore, but it definitely holds true. Basically, don't panic. And the next part of the tweet that I really like is John McAfee says this, whatever this might be, okay, whether it's after weekend blues or midweek trading upswings, do not panic. This will delay the bull market by no more than 30 days. Don't buy into the fear, buy the coins. So really, I've always liked that tweet. I sometimes go back and reference it just because I think it's honestly probably one of John McAfee's better tweets that he's put out. So really, in John McAfee's words, don't panic. Don't buy into the fear, buy the coins. Because downswings are, like I've said in the past, a bit of a sale time, okay? It's a time to buy, a time to relax, a time to reflect on previous highs. Okay, so really, with that being said, and I know that's a bit lighthearted, but really, downswings are a thing that happen, okay? A permanent bull market in any situation simply does not exist. It's just, it's elusive, it's a unicorn, you know? So anyway, folks, that is my opinion. I want to kind of speak from the heart, and if any of you disagree on this, absolutely let me know down in the comment section below. And like I said, we will see how this bears out in the coming week. You know, I could be totally and completely wrong about this whole thing, but what I'm basically saying here is don't lose heart if the price dips, even temporarily or even more than temporarily. You know, if we saw a price dip starting tomorrow and heading through the rest of the week, I really wouldn't lose any hope. Because at this point, and many of you are hanging on now, after experiencing a pretty significant market decline, there's really not much of a point of selling out on a short-term basis. You know, buying in and buying out were fantastic when arbitrage was a lot better, when the markets of cryptocurrency were actually even more volatile, and this is funny because this kind of reflects back on a point that I made earlier. When the markets were even more volatile and the price was all over the place, you could make really good money trading arbitrage, back and forth between exchanges where you'd buy cheaper on one and sell higher on another, and just kind of make money forever by doing that. It was pretty easy. You could do it in your spare time because the markets are open all the time, obviously, and it was a good way to make money. Really now what we're seeing is arbitrage isn't even all that viable anymore because really volatility is down. And when volatility is down, we tend to see more consistent price movements. Like I said, weekend is decent. Beginning of the week, we tend to see maybe a bit of a drop. Midweek and onward, we tend to see a pretty decent little rise. And that's a pattern that is influenced by news, but not to an extreme degree. Okay, we recently saw news that the SEC wasn't approving cryptocurrency and Bitcoin ETFs as quickly as everyone thought they would be. And how exactly did the market react to that? Many of you probably remember, the market simply looked at that news and said, well, I don't really care. And then the market actually continued to grow pretty consistently over the next couple of weeks, and it's still doing quite well right now, even after that news was released. So don't underestimate the resiliency of this cryptocurrency, of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, of even Ripple, etc. These markets are resilient. They have people entrenched in them that really do care, whether they're professionals like John McAfee, professionals like myself, or even regular old investors, okay? A lot of people are dug in, they are holding on, and really, news that used to absolutely rock the cryptocurrency community to its core, such as hacking news, etc. That stuff used to really shake people up a ton. Now the cryptocurrency market looks at that, and it goes, yeah, I don't really care all that much. It's kind of like the apathetic teenager right now, I suppose, in the stage of its development. And really, guys, after every apathetic teenage stage, we tend to find a fully blossomed and productive adult. That's a bit of a weird analogy, honestly, now that I think about it, but I think it's kind of interesting, so I'll go